You are in great demand, and I should make certain that we obtain your services before a bidding situation developed.
Don't try to snow me.
And it doesn't matter whether or not you're in custody of Raymond.
This is an alien, and you guys are from some government agency trying to keep it under wraps.
We have all been on tenterhooks, Stanley.
Mexicans jump all over you if you don't speak Spanish perfectly.
He left a hair tie in his apartment.
As she likes to keep to herself, mostly.
Carol says he was a right ladies' man back in the day.
Perfect fit, made to measure.
You are bone idle.
I hope you don't intend to leave me in the lurch when you get rich and famous like old Eddie Arnold did.
Our carriers will lie in wait northeast of Midway.
You know, Hunter, you shouldn't have to demean yourself to get this sort of attention.
Those aren't imaginary oaks that your grandmother told you about to lull you to sleep, sweetheart.
I was prepared to make allowances for slight imperfections if they arose.
Well, so, firstly, you don't want to make a big deal about this.
It was always a bone of contention that you were a better tap dancer than me.
I suppose you realize you've made me and the star the laughing stock of the country.
Don't ever make little of what you've done, even in modesty.
If you reckon Walter's so great, why don't you make a play for him yourself?
Lynn Cameron was a much sought-after fashion show producer.
You gotta give it your all, Bobby.
He's the only one that can clear my name, and he's the only one who knows who's running this conspiracy.
Thought you were going to do the right thing and you call the police and turn yourself in, but you try to sweep this under the rug?
It took me 6 months to scrounge up enough titanium just to build a 4-meter cockpit.
He's really starting to go downhill, though, you know?
And we would have caught him, too, but once that fuse hit his tail, oh, he took off like a shot.
Either go along or I drop a dime on his drug scam.
Bath is lovely, and the spas there will work wonders for your skin.
I can't ask General Electric to hire somebody else on my say-so.
Yeah, I already chewed out security detail.
I watched that cocksucker operate with impunity for over 10 years, and now I got it.
But we do like to be on a first-name basis with any of our potential candidates as soon as possible.
All I wanted was a square meal, maybe a bath, a night between clean sheets.
I can't believe the newspapers are making such a stew about that missing girl.
This recording will be a testament to my brave fight for life against all odds.
I was supposed to move out, but I've been pretty strapped for cash.
Hey, you're getting the swelled head, Charlie.
I don't care how hard I try to drum into him. No good would ever come of him helping Ray Ray.
If this thing is going to go pear-shaped, I think we ought to be prepared.
I'll be goddamned if I sit idly by and watch you all waste away your lives as a bunch of sniveling, cowardly wimps.
You want to pick a fight with a little regional law firm to flex your muscles?
You're not too quick on the uptake, are you?
You gotta keep your eye on them every minute so they don't fly the coop.
Yamata's death was not a reality, but an illusion created by a blow purposely wide of the mark.
He's probably got someone on the take.
I don't want to step on your toes, but things have changed since you were actively running the company.
I'm sorry that we have been dodging your calls, but we respect you guys too much as friends to give you some song and dance.
Guess you women have a raw deal.
If we keep this going, we could reach flat broke in time for Christmas.
From your puffy eyes, I deduced you spent a sleepless night.
As the Muggles say, truth will out.
These are the urges that we gotta stamp out.
I cannot goof off right now.
I don't like to talk shop over coffee.
When the upper crust does shady deeds, they do them in different places around town.
He always wanted me to see what his folks were like and all his old stamping grounds and various beautiful whereabouts.
You feel the need to sow your wild oats and have sex with a lot of different women.
I'm trying to do, but I'm living hand to mouth right now.
Forgive me if I've been a little slow on the uptake.
It's fair to say Damon Irving could spin a yarn with the best of them.
You don't want to give his creditors anything to squawk about.
He brainwashed your friends.
What in hell possessed you to buy a place sight unseen?
This does not sit well with me, Turner.
I finally realized that it was probably all hogwash.
Almost cooked up a storm.
Every morning with breakfast, I would pore over the newspapers for word of new catastrophes.
Why does he want to have a clean slate now?
I wasn't raised for this kind of life, but I've tried not to shirk my duty to you and your work.
Look, Gene, I'll get a crew in here right away and we'll shore it up temporarily, just for safety's sake.
Yeah, but I can't shut off my brain.
You're just gonna shrug it off and try to put her to bed and hope that she's better in the morning?
She thought it might be some sort of shotgun wedding, seeing as we'd never seen you before.
A relationship between a professor and a student was against Braylon's rules, but I knew in my heart Abe was too romantic to shy away from risks.
As a revelatory function, as in a play, illusion can set the stage for revelation to reveal certain difficult to get at truths.
Very chivalrous of you.
Well, you sure as hell haven't set the world on fire so far, or you wouldn't be hanging around a place like this.
Gave Riley the permission to have the hots for Clapton.
Seize an opportunity when it presents itself.
I'm going to go over there when she's finished and strike up a conversation with her.
We try not to say uncle.
We cannot arrest him openly or his supporters will run riot.
For long it was obvious that Emmeline was pregnant and I dismissed Ambrose.
I bought the place lock, stock and barrel.
And if something's not done about it in less than no time, I'll have everybody executed all round.
Well, seems I'm the odd man out, Governor.
I guess we're going to walk all night to steal a march on those fellas.
And I turned to Holmes and I told him so in no uncertain terms.
But I was a far cry from the geisha I had once been. So, who in their right mind would want to get into a scrape with you?
Only way to make a move is to build a fire under him.
The little savage has been taken to Mrs. Braxton's Indian school, where they know how to take the starch out of him.
Now tell me, what is so heavy on your heart you must come to confession at this unearthly hour?
Don't mean to cast aspersions on J. Edgar, but he was never a man to shun the public eye.
Tell him he can own all he likes, but he's still tied to his mother's apron strings.
You've been under close scrutiny ever since that split decision victory.
By all appearances, it was a suicide.
Oh, but don't use the expression "don't rock the boat," because she hates it.
She won't let him get a word in edgeways.
Banner and I will give it the once-over before it goes back to Asgard.
Coming here, thinking they can stake a claim to a man's land.
I've had a hunch about it pretty nearly from the beginning.
I do have a very hard and fast rule as to who reads my stuff at this early stage.
By the way, I have to tell you, Sophia's having the time of her life with you in science club. Oh, I'm sorry. But not that sorry, because you don't have to live with it.
Let's all have one for the road, which if we're smart, we'll hit.
Why should I let them execute you, magistrate, when you serve my purpose so well?
Well, she's in a family way.
And while it is true that Kelowna will bear the brunt of the initial explosion, in fact, by our calculations, almost half the country's landmass will be destroyed.
I've actually tried that tack, but you said that once before, and it's now been about 24 hours.
Well, I'm certainly going to give Ricky an earful when I see him at the Brisk next week.
They're far more likely to wreak havoc right here on us.
I would have bet anything that Nassim was going to cap my ass this morning and send me packing.
We're old friends. Share and share alike. That's our motto.
We both let things slide.
Look, Tommy, we know you're getting a hard time off Lizzie, but there's really no need to take it out on us.
You look lonely. I can fix that.
But the truth is those barbs cut both ways. I mean, how many people out there in the world would really lay down his life for you?
But what you've got to remember is that most of the time she's kind of in a world of her own, you know.
You take great pains to keep out the curious and the morbid.
But we'll just have to take you at your word on those, won't we?
If I stick around, how about having a drink with me later? Huh?
I'm telling you, you're not going to get anywhere chewing out some low-level yes man.
Hey, slow your roll there, Bobby. Once I sell my new book, we'll be on easy street.
You and the whole shitty airline are going right down the tubes just like Brandon.
How about don't be a sore loser?
He likes to throw his weight around.
You have done some crazy shit in the past, but this definitely takes the cake.
She's had you under her thumb since you were born.
Who rode his coattails while he laid the groundwork?
Man, you know I don't like this flim-flam man hanging around my bar.
I'm spoon-feeding this to you.
You'll hear a lot about my client's flamboyant lifestyle.
And there's vehicle, gas, so I'd say the whole thing is going to set you back somewhere in the neighborhood of $450.
But, I guess you lucked out. I feel my excellent work is no longer in step with this trashy provincial rag.
What's done is done, the die is cast, the past is past. The grant, that is, will go a long way toward funding the new programming that I'm working on.
There's really no need to add insult to injury.
I think the major was just hoping and praying for somebody to get out of line so we could lower the boom.
Yeah, sometimes things appear when least expected.
You go from door to door and you make sure he ain't hiding out with anybody.
Love you, buddy. Works and all.
Which in and of itself means nothing, but he was paying a little bit too much for this coffee.
Spare me your self-righteous declarations.
You sent me to recruit him way back when.
We've been looking high and low for you.
and then you'll be back to square one.